What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about cornerback Mike Hughes, but if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. And if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. So first off, happy Father's Day to all the fathers, from my family to yours. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. But with that being said, in today's video, I do want to talk about cornerback Mike Hughes. And I do believe that the Falcons finally have found a running mate for #1 cornerback AJ Terrell. And we know over the last couple seasons since we drafted AJ Terrell, we've struggled to find that sidekick or that running mate for AJ Terrell since he's been drafted out of Clemson. And we have a multitude of guys that we've tried to bring in to support AJ Terrell and be that other guy on the other side, on the outside, to lock down the opposing side of the field. And I really feel like last year, Mike Hughes is a guy that kind of quietly went under the radar, but he quietly had a really, really good season. I was doing some research and things of that nature, went back and watched some of his highlights and some of his film from last year. And Mike Hughes is one of those guys that I do believe is that #2 cornerback, can be that sidekick finally to AJ Terrell. We did give him a 3-year deal, $18 million in the offseason. And it was because of him proving himself last year with our Atlanta Falcons, playing opposite of AJ Terrell. Last season, Mike Hughes had 66 tackles on the season, 6 pass breakups. He was one of those guys that had 4 tackles for loss. And he played really, really well. Did a good job of locating the football, breaking up passes. He had a couple opportunities where he could have came down with interceptions, but he wasn't able to catch the ball. He dropped a couple interceptions. He could have easily had 2 or 3 interceptions last year where he was able to either knock the ball down or he had the ball right in the breadbasket and dropped it. So I definitely think that Mike Hughes is that guy at 27 years old. With him signing that 3-year deal, he'll only be 30 years old when this contract is up. But he's been with our Atlanta Falcons for the last 2 seasons. But he is a guy that was drafted out of UCF as a #1 first-round pick for the Minnesota Vikings years ago. But he is a guy that Jerry Gray is very familiar with. He was with him in his rookie season in Minnesota. So I really feel like Mike Hughes is one of those guys that can take another step this season for our Atlanta Falcons. But I really feel like we found another lockdown corner opposite of AJ Terrell. We've tried different guys in the past. We had the Jeff Okudas of the world on this Falcons roster. And we had a multitude of other guys that we actually tried to bring in to solidify that #2 spot. And none of those guys was able to come in and really lock down that #2 role. But I really feel like we have a really solid cornerback in Mike Hughes. He's a really good tackler, as you can see, with 66 tackles on the season. 51 of those tackles were solo tackles. And I'm huge on having guys that can come up and run support and make tackles, and guys that can tackle in one-on-one situations out in space. And that's something that Mike Hughes showed us last year, is he was really good coming up in support, whether it was in the run game or whether it was when they threw the ball on the outside to the wide receiver he was covering. He was very good at making those one-on-one solo tackles, limiting yards after catch and things of that nature. So I definitely think that Mike Hughes is one of those guys that goes under the radar because he's a very quiet guy. He doesn't talk a whole lot in the media. But last year, just if you go back and look at his film, if you go back and look at some of his highlights from the way that he played last year, whether it was in him being in man-to-man situations down the field, he did a good job of locating the football, not panicking when the ball was in the air, didn't have a ton of penalties. PFF graded him as the 34th best corner in the NFL, which is really good to be the #2 guy. If you think about it, it's 32 teams in the league. So if he's the 34th best corner based off of their rankings and their numbers, that makes him like the best second second corner in the game as far as being that number 2 sidekick corner for all the NFL teams. So I definitely think that Mike Hughes is a guy who can step up to the plate, as he showed us last year. The biggest thing that he's dealt with in his career was the injuries. That's really what kind of held Mike Hughes back early in his career. He had a bunch of injuries and things of that nature that held him back. But I really feel like if he's able to stay healthy this season, last year he did play 15 games. If he can do that this year and play a ton of games in this 17-game stretch and stay healthy, I really feel like he'll have a chance to not only get past breakups, but I could even see him having a couple of picks this year. If he plays the same way he played last year, where he was doing a good job of understanding route concepts, he was breaking on routes and things of that nature. He had, like I said, opportunities, if you go look at his film, where he could have at least came down with 2 or 3 interceptions on the season. So I really feel like he has solidified that number 2 cornerback spot behind AJ Terrell. And I really feel like AJ Terrell finally has brought in, or we finally have brought in a guy for AJ Terrell to kind of take some of the pressure off of him in certain situations. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts, on Mike Hughes. Do you believe that he is one of the better secondary or number 2 corners in the game? I definitely think that he's a great sidekick to AJ Terrell. We know for every Batman, you need a Robin. And last year he stepped up and he played that Robin role really well. So with that being said, I have a lot more content coming for you guys. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button for your boy. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.